How's it going, everybody? This is Seer here, and as you can see, we're going to start doing the playtest footage for the Thunderbolts team. Now, the footage you're about to start seeing pop up on the screen somewhere, I don't know where we're going to end up putting it, is me doing a bunch of these matches against like Night Stalkers, against Liberty, a lot of these different teams where the new characters are at that 3 star level, and they weren't really performing that well. I wanted to see what they could end up doing. It does look like for this team, we do want to increase the star levels of these new characters. So I'm going to pump them up to a 5-5. We're going to go back in and we're going to do some testing and see some live reactions to see what could end up happening. Now, I do feel once we get more stars on these new characters, this team's going to perform very, very well. The kits are very interesting on the 3 new characters. Taskmaster, though, I wished got this portion of the kit to where on turn, if this character has 2 or more mercenary, villain, or underworld allies, apply taunt. That's not it. The portion I actually want on Taskmaster is the assist chance, to where you gain assist now on each mercenary, villain, or underworld ally's turn. I wish this went to Thunderbolts as well. That was one of the main reasons I actually voted for Taskmaster, but they didn't end up doing that to Taskmaster. Taskmaster does have some war callouts, as you see, where in war on spawn, fill speed bar or self by 10%. This is what's going to end up happening. So that's going to give an effective speed for Taskmaster in war and offense to about 132, which is actually pretty good speed. Now, you don't need Skirmisher on Taskmaster, mainly due to the ultimate, where this does have an extra 500% extra focus if there's 4 more Thunderbolt allies. The special here has an extra 300% focus. So the ISO choice I like is actually going to end up being a Raider for Taskmaster. Ghost I like as a Striker. Songbird I like as a Raider. She's going to go very quickly. She has 2 different type of opening moves. The special where you could end up doing a turn meter rewind, reduce speed bar. Or the ultimate here where it's going to end up doing a flip all positive effects into negative effects. Depending on the matchup, you're going to want to decide which one you want to end up going with. Let's go ahead and pump her up to a 5 red right now. All right, she's ready to go. Hyperion, he's basically the taunter. He's very good on this team. I actually like him a lot. I do like him as a striker. The main reason for that is he actually gets a heal on his striker ISO attack. I'll pull that up right after this. So his ISO attack, heal self for 5%. This character's max health. This will end up happening on his striker attack, which is why I like him as a striker. And then we have Victoria Hand. I like her as a striker. That's going to be getting the extra charges up to a maximum of 5. And due to the charges, that's how she actually starts to heal the team up. So we have the full team at 5-5 for the new characters, 7-7 for the old characters. Let's go in and see what kind of matches we could end up getting out of this now. All right, the first team I want to take them into is going to be the Night Stalkers. The 3-3 version, Blade basically did a rewind into the Songbird, Victoria Hand, Taskmaster, and that just kind of went sideways very quickly. I want to see what happens going into them with 5-5s on these new stats now. Let's go in. All right, so right off the bat, Blade is ulting into Ghost. So we got the rewind into Hyperion, Ghost, and Taskmaster. So now we have Songbird going. Let's go ahead and ult here. That's going to flip those death proofs. We got trauma on them. Offense down. That's actually huge. This is going to hit the primary and adjacent trauma ability block to all 3 of them. Let's do that right into Agatha. So now we got the ability block going into Oath right here, which is not going to get that exposed on us. Let's go ahead and ult here. This is going to get blinds on everybody. And yeah, this went night and day better. I think it's still going to be RNG on who Blade's going to end up doing the rewind into. I think if the rewind went back into Taskmaster, Songbird, and Victoria Hand, this wouldn't go as well. All right, let's go ahead and ult here. And yep, this match is over. All right, this is a matchup I haven't done before. This is the full Annihilators team. It's just the cookie cutter version. It's not going to be where you add in like Mephisto or anything like that. I do think the Thunderbolts is going to be able to beat this. It kind of feels like the Annihilators is like the new benchmark. If you can beat Annihilators, then you're a competent war team. Let's see what happens here. All right, so right off the bat, we do get that safeguard. That's very huge. Let's go ahead and ult first. This is going to get blinds on everybody. Let's ult here. That's going to flip those defense ups into defense down. And that also got trauma on them in a blind. So, I mean, they're really hurting right now. Let's go ahead and special. All right, so there's the rain on fire. That just kind of tickled us. The barrier is standing strong. Let's go ahead and ult with Victoria Hand. And let's go ahead and extend those nade effects or just kill everybody. Rip. Ghost just jacked him up. Yeah, this was a very easy matchup. So let's go ahead, back out, go to a different one. All right, this one here I'm really curious on. Falcon Joaquin ended up going first on the 3-3. Did a rewind into Songbird, which really hurt us. And then from there, they just kind of like rolled us. I want to see if this ends up changing. If we can't beat Liberty, I'm actually fine with that. Liberty's like the apex war team right now. So I don't think that this team should be able to beat the war team. All right, so right off the bat, we get all of these taunts on us. And we got the rewind here into Victoria Hand and Songbird. All right, stun into Ghost. Now we have the slow on us. This is the thing that actually hurts us the most. Is now the Liberty team's just going to kind of lap us. We're not really going to be able to do anything about it. All right, so there's the ult from Cap Sam that ends up speeding them up. And we're still kind of waiting for a turn. Yeah, this ended up going pretty much how I expected. So Liberty is definitely a no-go on this one. All right, this one here is very interesting. So we do have Thunderbolts going into the Astral team. Now, Zero Cool Gamer said that he was able to get this to work. I gave it quite a few shots. I think once we get more stars on the new Thunderbolt characters, this will be pretty reliable. I'm going to kind of show you how this does play out. Then we're going to add stars on and then go back in. All right, so right off the bat, we do want to try to get a stun out there. I'm going to end up using that into Ancient One because otherwise she's going to end up doing a special into us and that's going to end up flipping everything and it goes very, very badly. This one here, we could end up doing the ultimate. We can't flip anything, so I actually like to save that. We're going to use the special here. Attack primary and adjacent, reduce speed bar. Let's do that here into Emma Frost and Shadow King. All right, so now we have here Hyperion's move. We're going to target Shadow King in special, mainly just due to that striker shot. Now we're going to use the ultimate from the Victoria Hand. And the unfortunate thing there, you kind of saw, that ends up putting Disrupt on, and that gets flipped into immunity. Let's go ahead and ult here into Ancient One. Get the striker shot in. And this is basically where things goes wrong. Shadow King gets his turn. He does that special. And that ping did some really good damage to Hyperion. Ancient One now gets to do the special. And from here, it basically goes downhill. So let's go ahead and back out. We're going to add some more stars in. All right, this one here is the Thunderbolts going into the full Astral team. So again, Astral does have a lot of war callouts. The 3-3 matchup that you just finished watching on here, I think we could end up getting this working. So now we have a 5-5 on the 3 new characters. Let's see how this actually changes the matchup for us. All right, so right off the bat, let's go ahead and I'm going to try to get a stun into Doctor Strange. That way you don't have to worry about him trying to kind of do like a revive type of thing. Now where I want to go all in on Shadow King over here. The ultimate's going to end up applying offense down. I think that's pretty big. Trauma to all enemies. Let's do that. There's the offense down. We have trauma on 4 of the enemies over here because Shadow King can't get the taunt. So this is actually going to end up flipping the Disrupt into immunity on the special. But I don't want to do that to Shadow King, so I'm going to end up targeting over here to Moondragon. All right, so now we could end up doing a special here. Apply 2 negative effects, transfer positive effects, and this is going to get 4 bleeds. Let's do that into Shadow King. So now we have the trauma ability block on Hyperion, ability block on Ghost. Their Ancient One ends up doing that special. All right, let's go ahead and ult with Victoria Hand, attack primary and adjacent, trauma ability block. Let's do that right here. So now we got the ability block into Shadow King. Their Ghost ends up going. All right, so now Shadow King's going to do the ultimate. That's going to get rid of all those negative effects. So I'm really curious. Like I mentioned, Zero Cool Gamer said that he was able to get this to work as 3-3. It's going to be high RNG. I can definitely see how it could end up working. It's going to be a huge finesse matchup and probably pretty... I could see it being somewhat reliable once we get higher stars. So it definitely intrigues me. All right, this one here is the full Orcus team, and we have that full Thunderbolts team. This one here, I think the Thunderbolts should be able to handle this one. All right, so right off the bat, the enemy does end up having that immunity on spawn. So we can't really use the ultimate here because we're not flipping anything, so that would be kind of a waste. If this character is 3 more non-summon underworld or 4 more Thunderbolts, gain extra focus. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. Especially if it's going to get a stun, rebound chain, offense down. That's not going to do anything. Let's just go ahead and basic. All right, the ult here is going to end up flipping all those positive effects to negative effects now. All right, let's go ahead and go into Nimrod here in special. Get the striker shot in. Let's go ahead and ult here. Omega Sentinel, Lady Deathstrike, and Nimrod will now have that ability block on them. Let's go ahead and extend these negative effects now with Ghost. All right, so now we're going to end up using the ultimate from Taskmaster. This is probably going to wipe them off. Yeah, this was a very easy matchup, kind of how I assumed it would end up being. We do need to end up taking out Scientist Supreme. That counterattack did end up taking out the Sentinel. All right, let's go ahead and take out Scientist Supreme. And yep. Let's go ahead and watch this animation. This one's actually a really cool animation. Appearing going right to the sun. This little superhero landing. I dig it. All right, let's go ahead and check out another matchup. All right, this one here, we have Alpha Flight with Chavez and Ares. I'm curious what would end up happening here. We do spawn in with that immunity, or the safeguard. So Ares is going to take that away. I'm curious if that's going to be enough to actually stop the Thunderbolts team. All right, so Ares is going to take the safeguard, take the defense up off of us. And he actually didn't take it off. He just copied it. Okay. Let's go ahead and ult here with Taskmaster. Now we got blinds on them. Let's go ahead and ult here. That's going to flip. So the evades definitely saved the North Star and Guardian over there. This one here actually does the trauma ability block to everybody. Well, not everybody, just the primary adjacent. My bad. Let's go ahead and extend these negative effects with Ghost. Get that striker shot. All right, Guardian does the stun into Hyperion. All right, let's go ahead. We are still stuck on the time. We're going to special with Songbird. Guardian took out Hyperion there. All right, we're still stuck on the taunt. Let's go ahead and special, get the stun. Now we're off the taunt, but Ares is going to start doing something. This This is going to hit the primary and adjacent. Let's go ahead and do that here. Let's go ahead special into North Star. And I still want to go into North Star. Let's go ahead and basic. All right, let's take out Ares here. Let's basic into him, get the striker shot. We're not getting the charges because we lost some members. I believe that's what's going on with Victoria Hand. Right now they're going to start lapping us because we got the slow on us. That's not good. There she goes. We need to survive 2 more turns so we can try to get another ult off with Taskmaster. But I don't think we're going to end up doing it. I think this could end up working if you do ever come across this. So 5-5 isn't terrible. Let's go ahead and talk final thoughts as far as war goes. So as a 5-5 Alpha or Thunderbolts team, I think they're going to be okay. I think the kits are one of those things where they look better on paper than what they kind of performed. I was expecting them to be a lot better. I know there were like talks as far as subbing certain characters out and everything. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to kind of focus just on the core team itself. The big things is Night Stalkers is going to be RNG. Absolute A-Force, I don't see them working on that. Liberty, I don't see them working on that. Astral, Zero Cool Gamer must be a magician. He got that to work. I could see a world where that could end up happening, but due to overpowered kind of happening with, say, Shadow King, Emma Frost, X-Men, people are taking them up. The overpowered's going to really overwhelm the Thunderbolts team. The Annihilator is easy matchup. The Infestation should end up working. Illuminati, I think, could end up working. I actually didn't test that one out. The Xavier is definitely a no. So there's certain things they could take out. I think they're going to be more like a B tier team than anything. The Mephisto comps, I don't think that's going to work. Same with Odin. The Odin comp here, let's see what happens. I don't think this is going to go well. I think the Odin's just going to get that battlefield effect out so quickly that we can't really do anything. Then we're just going to get mowed down. That's my prediction for this. And there is the Null over there. I know I kind of selected one of the more difficult ones. So Gore goes first, does the ultimate. That's going to cause the assist coming in. And now we have our turn. Let's go ahead and ult with the Taskmaster right here. Let's go ahead and ult again with Songbird. And the thing is, we're stuck on this taunt right now. Let's go ahead and special with Hyperion. Now we're off that. Let's see if we can go all in. This is going to attack primary adjacent. So we do have a heal block on there. Let's go ahead and try to extend. Noel takes his turn. There's the ult. He's going to call the assist in. And there goes the heal block. So maybe this could work in some weird RNG check, actually. That's actually kind of funny. But yeah, now the battlefield effect is out, so that's not going to work. So I think this is going to be another one of those teams, kind of like Vigilante, to where it's going to be kind of a heat-seeking missile. They want these teams to kind of stay in their lane, like stay in these raid teams, don't really go outside of the realm of what they're supposed to do, but they can still have certain functions to take out teams in, say, War, Cosmic Crucible, and stuff like that, which I do find very interesting. It's better than them just being locked behind that one single game mode, making it to where you can't really do anything. So let me know what you guys think as far as that goes. I know I didn't do any of the raid testing on here. It's a raid team. It's going to work. So as far as what level, I'm sure 3-3 you can manual it. And then once you start getting more stars, you can end up doing the sim just like it was with the Vigilante team. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't like wowing you guys with things that I could take out. Again, it's going to be one of those heat-seeking missile teams. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.